In this lesson, we're going to learn how to solve percent problems that deal with tax, discount, and tip. So my first step is to figure out the percent that I paid. And so anytime I have a discount or a coupon, I'm receiving a deal. So it's subtracting from the amount that I paid. So let's write that down. Discounts and tips decrease the amount paid. And so if I start off with 100%, I'm going to subtract the discount percent. So for example, if it were 10% off, if I do 100 minus 10, that means I paid 90% of the original price. So that would be 90% paid. Now, tax and tip, those add on to the cost of my bill. So if you go out to a restaurant and you get dinner, you have to pay a tip, or you should pay your server a tip. So a lot of times people pay the server 10 or 20% of their original bill. So it increases the amount paid. And so because it increases the amount paid, it increases the percent paid. So we're going to do 100% plus the tax or tip percent. Kind of difficult to read. It says tip. And so with the example I just said, for example, if I pay a 20% tip, I have 100% plus 20% gives me 120% paid. Now, there's different ways you can solve these problems, but again, this is just going to be one strategy that I use. So after I figure out my percent paid, I need to set up my proportion. Remember, percent is always out of 100. So this time, I can't just look at the problem and identify the percentage. I need to calculate the percent paid and put that over 100. And instead of is over of or part over whole, my denominator is going to represent the starting amount, the original. And the numerator is going to be the new price. So that would be like the sale price or the amount that you spent on the entire meal. So now let's take a look at a few examples. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to read step 3. Of course, step 3 is to solve the proportion. You just have to be careful and make sure you answer what the question is asking. And that'll make more sense as we do some examples. So example 1, Jana bought an embroidered French scarf on sale. The original price was $25. And she got 45% off. What was the sales price? So this is a discount. So to find the percent paid, we need to subtract. I'm going to do 100 minus 45, and that will give me 55% paid. Now I'm ready to set up my proportion. Start off with 100, and I know that my percent or my percent paid always goes on top of 100. And so 55 goes over 100. And then because $25 is the original price, I'm going to put that in my denominator and put X in the numerator. Now I just need to solve my proportion. And you guys know how to solve the proportion, so I'm just going to go to the next step. Example 2. Josh's meal cost $23.76 after an 8% tax is added to the cost of the meal. What was the price of the meal before tax? So the meal costs $23.76 after tax. I have an 8% tax, and I'm looking for the price of the meal before tax. That's my clue that I'm looking for the original. And so to figure out our percent paid, this time because it's tax that adds on to the cost, I'm going to do 100% plus 8%. So that means you paid 108% of the original cost. And so now let's set up our proportion. I'm going to put 108% over 100%. And then 2376 represents the new cost. It's not the original. So I'm going to put 2376 in the numerator and x in the denominator. Then I just need to solve my proportion. And when I do, I'll know the original cost of the meal. Example 3. Brianna brought a Turkish handcrafted leather belt for $40.50. If she paid an 8.5% tax on the purchase, what was her total price? And so don't get confused on the percent problems that we did previously where it was part over whole or part over total. Whenever we're talking about money, so like tax, tip, or discount, we're going to focus on our proportion being the denominator is original and the numerator is the new price. So when it tells us $40.50, that represents the original. I'm looking for her total price or her new price after the tax. So because this problem is tax, that adds on to my original cost. So it's going to be 100% plus 8.5%, which means 108.5% is the percent paid. And now let's set up our proportion. Percent is always over 100, and the percentage can be a decimal. Now, we said that $40.50 represents the original cost, and then X is my numerator. I'm looking for the new cost, and it's going to be something that's greater than $40.50. Now I want you to try to set up the next couple of problems and enter your solutions on Edpuzzle. So example 4, Martin finds a shirt on sale for 13% off at an department store. If Martin paid $18, what was the original price? So he paid $18. What was the original price? 13% off means it was a discount. So to find my percent paid, I need to subtract 100 minus 13, and that's going to give me 87% paid. So when I set up my proportion, I should have 87 over 100, because my percent always goes over 100, and then I'm looking for the original cost, and he paid 18. So original, X in the denominator, 18 in the numerator. Example 5. Keisha ate at P.F. Chang. Her meal came to $13.60. If she left with 17% tip, what was the total bill? So we have to kind of read this problem to figure out what it's telling us. It says our meal came to $13.60, and then later tells me what was her total bill. So that means that the $13.60 was the original cost. I'm looking for the new. It's a tip, so that adds on to my original cost. So 100% plus 17% equals 117% paid. So we're going to put 117 over 100. The other piece of my proportion, 1360, represents my original cost. So that's in the denominator. X is my numerator. Example 6. John went to Macy's and purchased a pair of jeans and a sweater. The original price of the jeans was $43.50 and the sweater was $26.20. If he used a coupon for 14% off, how much did he spend? So there's a couple different ways I can approach this problem. What I'm going to do first is he purchased 2 items. So I need to first add the price of those items together. So $43.50 plus $26.20 is going to give me 70 cents and 69. So $69.70. So that represents the original price. It's 14% off, so I need to calculate the percent paid. Discount means I need to subtract 100% minus 14 equals 86% paid. So that's what I'm going to put over 100. 86 over 100, and then the original prices in the denominator. 69.70 and I'm solving for the numerator. In this lesson, we figured out how to solve discount, tax, and tip problems using a proportion.